Sleep is fundamental. The way I think about it is when we were evolving on the savannas of Africa 100,000, 200,000 years ago, um, before we had homes, when we were open to predation, uh, when you were sleeping, you weren't being productive, you weren't being reproductive, you weren't defending yourself. If evolution could have done away with sleep, it would have. And we need sleep. It's the foundation upon which everything else. And when people say, listen, sleep, diet, and exercise, you know, it still is those fundamental basics. And there are tools to help you with each of those now. And they're the uh, first, if you would, the first bridge that will get us to the second bridge of longevity, which is a lot of the therapeutics under development right now.
When you look at, again, from this like investor lens, what I find
Yeah.
fascinating about you is you're constantly looking for the next thing, the next piece of technology, the next great company.
Mhm.
But as a user who is interested in longevity, those two worlds are now colliding. There's a ton of technology and products, companies that are trying to help people do this. There are things that are kind of futuristic, like brain-computer interfaces, which you talk about. Then there are things that are as simple as getting quarterly blood check-ins and making sure that you're kind of on track.
Yeah.
How important is the futuristic stuff versus maybe the like blocking and tackling simple stuff? And the reason why I think about that is like one of my greatest fears is that you and I, we were born in the famous quote of we were born too late to discover the earth and explore the earth, but born too early to discover the stars and go explore out there.
Yeah.
And so how do you think about some of this like futuristic technology?
So I live in this futuristic technology, right? I have two large venture funds, Bold Capital, which is investing in biotech and health tech, about 600 million, and Exponential Ventures, about 500 million, investing in AI. And so I'm seeing all of these companies constantly. And it's magical. And AI and biotech / longevity are colliding. And this next decade is a real decade of the health span revolution because of AI. We have 40 trillion cells in our body. Every cell is running between 1 billion to 2 billion chemical reactions per second. And there's no way for a human to understand what's going on, but AI can. And we're beginning to understand fundamentally what's going on. As I say in the subtitle of the book, how to slow, stop, and reverse aging. The second part of the subtitle is in not dying from something stupid. And let me mention what that second part is. If I were to ask you or anybody listening right now, are you absolutely sure that nothing is going on inside your body you need to know about? And most of us are optimists about our health. We think we're fine, but we all have friends and colleagues who had a pain or problem. They go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Listen, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you've got stage 3 or stage 4, this or that, or you've got advanced blockage in your coronary arteries." And the thing to realize is it didn't just happen that morning, right? It's been going on for some time. And unless you look, you're not going to find out. And people say, "Well, I don't want to know." And I'm saying, bullshit. Of course you want to know. You want to know as early as you can when you can do something about it, because you're going to find out eventually. You want to find out early because medicine has moved incredibly far in our ability to address almost everything. So one of the companies that Tony Robbins and I started with Bill Kapp is a company called Fountain Life. I write about it. It's one of the companies that provides this. There are others. I think Fountain Life is best personally, but we have centers in New York, our headquarters in Orlando. We have Naples and Dallas. We're opening up LA, Houston, Arizona, Miami soon. And these are 10,000 square foot centers where you go, and over the course of 4.5 hours, we upload you. We digitize you. Full body MRI, brain vasculature, an a coronary CT with an AI overlay, low dose lung CT, DEXA scan, your full genomics, your microbiome, metabolomics, all of this. And it's to answer two questions. Is there anything going on inside your body right now that you need to know about and take care of? And the second is what's likely to happen to you in the future, and how do we optimize you to prevent that? And we've saved hundreds and hundreds of lives. And the numbers from our first 5,000 patients are impressive. 2% of people who are seemingly healthy have a cancer they don't know about. 2.5% have an aneurysm they don't know about. 14.4% have either metabolic disease, coronary artery disease, or neurodegenerative disease. And when you find out early, there are a multitude of protocols to get you back into a state of health. So I think of not dying from something stupid as giving yourself the benefit of this kind of a fountain life upload on an annual basis. That goes along with wearing a seatbelt, wearing a helmet when you're skiing, not texting and driving, things that make sense to do.
When you think about kind of your journey here, what was the hardest thing for you to do? Right. It's like in investing. I think one of the things that the younger generation is learning, it's easy to buy. It's really hard to sell. But you don't know that until you've already bought and you go through like, oh, when do I sell? Should I have sold? I messed this up, whatever. You're now kind of,
it's also hard. It's also hard not to churn your investments. It's hard to hold on for the long run.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you tend to sell the ones that you shouldn't sell, and you tend to hold the ones that you should have sold. So for you, what has been the hardest part, and what did you do to kind of get over that?
I had to make a decision that my health was a priority. That is the fundamental first step. If you make the choice that my health is a priority for me, that I want to live an extra 20 or 30 healthy years. Right now, the average human lifespan in the United States is 78, 79. And that's your lifespan. That's how long your heart is ticking. But health span typically ends at 63. So we've got this like 16-year gap during which the last 16 years, you're not healthy. You've got, diabetes or coronary disease or, a whole slew of things. And all of these things are reversible by making the choice that your health, your life, for either yourself or your spouse or your kids, is a priority. And it's choosing to invest a certain amount of the time in the day and building those routines and those habits. And once you do, that becomes part of your identity. Listen, one of the easiest things to do in a step in that direction is, you've heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So are you spending time with people who care about their health and are in good shape and have good eating habits, or not? And if you're not, maybe it's time to, shuffle the deck on your friend group, because I guarantee you, if you hang out with people where working out and eating healthy and their health is a priority, it will impact you in a very positive fashion.